Welcome back. Amid the destruction in Nepal, there are stories of miracle as well as hope. Survivors pulled from the rubble 5 days after the earthquake. Rescue teams and aid are still pouring in from all around the world. Thousands are living in makeshift camps. Their homes are either destroyed or too dangerous to inhabit. But there is a group of survivors who have already been whisked out of the country. When Israel sent shipments of aid to Nepal, the jets carried back precious living cargo, newborn babies. But these infants were particularly special because they were born to surrogate mothers. Melissa Brisman is a lawyer specializing in surrogacy. What can you tell us about these babies and their connection to Israel?
Well, because most of the couples that went abroad were gay men, in Israel, gay men are not allowed to use the process of using a surrogate mother. So they have to go to foreign countries. And they used to go to India, but now they're going to Nepal because India is no longer allowing gay couples. So when the earthquake happened, a lot of these babies were born prematurely without any access to appropriate medical care. So they had to petition the Israeli government to get these babies over and back to the Israeli couples.
So Marissa, you're saying that the overwhelming majority, because I understand at least initially on a 747 going back to Israel, there were 15 babies on board on that flight. But the surrogate mothers were not allowed to go with them as well. Some would think this might be a public relations nightmare for Israel.
Well, the focus of most of the media really is on the gay rights issue and the issue of gay men allowing to use the surrogate mother process in their home country, like heterosexual couples with a medical problem are. But certainly there is an issue that the medical care, that the surrogate mothers were just left without medical care and they didn't take them back. There are also several pregnant women over in Nepal who are not getting access to appropriate prenatal care, who are also caring for Israeli couples, and those mothers have not been allowed into the country as well.
Okay, break it down for us. What are the issues that they face in Israel in terms of there being a roadblock to these people not being able to go to Israel as a result?
Well, the Israeli government is run by the religious Jewish community. So from the point of view of the ultra-religious, gay men shouldn't be reproducing and using surrogate mothers. And there are strict laws in Israel, like you have to be married and heterosexual for a certain amount of time. You have to prove absolutely 100% that you can't carry. So because these rules are so strict, there is no access to using a surrogate mother in Israel for certain heterosexual couples and all of the gay community. So they are forced to go to these underdeveloped countries where it's risky. These newborns that were born in Nepal didn't have adequate medical care. They were premature, and they didn't have adequate medical care for 4 or 5 days. Who knows if they were without food, without formula, without breast milk for all of that time? Who knows what the long-term effects on these children are going to be? There may be, even though they are in Israel getting appropriate care, those 5 days could have been crucial.
You know, let's talk about overall surrogacy. You know, it's big business. It's a lot of money. Surrogacy here in the United States and Canada is about $150,000, but over there in Nepal it's $30,000. That's a lot of money to people over there. Are a lot of people turning to countries like Nepal for surrogacy?
A lot of people are going to underdeveloped countries because it's cheaper.
Right.
But what they don't realize is just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's cheaper in the long run. Because, for instance, if you have a baby born prematurely in Nepal and it is stuck in Nepal for 3 months, there wasn't an earthquake or something like this, you have to leave your job for 3 months and live in Nepal. And that's lost wages for 3 months, that's travel back and forth, that's airfare, that's lifelong health problems that maybe would have had better care here in the United States. So you really have to measure. It is extremely risky to go to an underdeveloped country to do surrogacy. And the price difference isn't as great as the media makes it. It really is only about $100,000 here, and it's about $70,000 in Nepal. So you're talking about $30,000.
Absolutely. Of course, money is always involved in this, and once again, here in a situation like this, we just have to wait and see what happens. You know, Nepal is a beautiful country. We don't see the other side of this. Of course, the story uncovers there's obviously a darker side to what goes on in Nepal and Kathmandu and places like that. Melissa Brisman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right.